On the news, President Buhari reacts to NDA attack, says incidents will not affect fight against insurgency. Nigeria signs military technical cooperation agreement with Russia. And Plateau government reimposes 24-hour curfew on Just North local government area as bandits kill over 35. It's great to have you join us on News Now. I am Oni Adekunle. In reaction to the attack on the Nigerian Defense Academy NDA on Tuesday, President Muhammadu Buhari has said the incident, rather than dampen the morale of the armed forces, would hasten the process of ridding the country of all sorts of criminal elements. While commiserating with the families who lost their loved ones in the incident, President Buhari vowed that the deceased would not die in vain, adding that the wicked act would have consequences. Meanwhile, the authorities of the Nigerian Defense Academy, at the prompting of the Chief of Defense Staff General Loki Rabo, have set up a board of inquiry to probe the breach of security at the academy with the view of punishing any personnel found culpable. The Director, Defense Information, Major General Benjamin Sawyer, in a statement explains that any personnel found guilty will be sanctioned. And to further boost Nigeria's military strength, the federal government has signed a military technical cooperation agreement with the Russian Federation. The Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, who is on official visit to Russia, signed on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, while the Director of the Federal Service for Military Technical Cooperation, Dmitry Shugailev, signed for the Russian Federation. And this agreement terminates the earlier agreement between the two countries, signed on the 6th of March 2001. And still on security, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has said the whereabouts of no fewer than 10% of Borno's residents are unknown due to the activities of insurgents in the northeastern state. Zulum said this during his visit to President Muhammadu Buhari to brief him about the security situation in the state. The president also hosted Plateau State Governor Simon LALONG, who gave him updates on the situation in Plateau. Our correspondent Abisola Adebayo has details in this next report.
The security situation in Borno State has made Governor Babagana Zulum a regular visitor at the presidential villa. His last visit was in July, and this time he has come to brief President Muhammadu Buhari on the latest development, particularly the surrendering of some Boko Haram fighters in the state. While many Nigerians have expressed doubt over the terrorist repentance, Zulum says considering the impact of the conflict, the surrendering is a welcome development.
This is a very serious matter, and I think the report of the surrendering of the insurgents, to me in particular, and to the greater people of Borno State, is a very welcome development. Unless we want to continue with an endless war, I see no reason why we shall reject those that are willing to surrender.
The governor also said it will seek further interventions from relevant stakeholders within and outside the country.
Among those that have surrendered, some are innocent, that are possibly scripted into this program. Some are teenagers, below the age of 11, 12, but they can handle AK-47. And there's one very important thing that Nigerians need to understand. If this issue of the Boko Haram insurgency is not resolved, I believe it will never end, because it is a generation.
After hosting Zulum, President Buhari also received the Plateau State Governor Simon LALONG, who gave an update on the recent attacks and the general security situation in the state.
We've done a lot, and like I said, I've addressed, as a governor, I've addressed the Basa issue. I've met with the Fulani community, I've met with the Rigwe community, and all of them had gone back to where we stopped before, on agreements to live in peace. On the side of the killings, we rescued about 26 people, and those of them that were also given proper attention, we addressed them at the hospitals, and when we saw a lot of them recovered, my deputy governor led the team in taking them to Ondo.
At his last meeting with the service chiefs, President Buhari says he is ready to rejig the security architecture if it becomes necessary in order to achieve the desired result. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Lagos.
Meanwhile, the Plateau State government has restated the relaxed 24-hour curfew in Jos North local government area of the state following growing tensions over the killing of no fewer than 35 persons in an attack on Yewa Zagam village. The attack occurred barely 1 week after over 25 travelers were killed in Gadambiu Rukuba Road in Jos North local government. According to Governor Simon Lalong, the curfew will come into force from 4 p.m. on Wednesday until further notice. In a statement by spokesman Market Macham, the decision became necessary following threats to lives and properties within the local government and the need to forestall the breakdown of law and order. Now, with these reports of attacks and killings in Plateau State, what exactly is the current state of residents in that area? Nigeria's over 40 doctors, Nigeria's over 40 doctors might deplete soon, and this comes as Saudi Arabia is shopping for more doctors among Nigeria's medical personnel. Now, this comes amid the ongoing strike by the National Association of Resident Doctors. Over 500 Nigerian doctors turned up for a recruitment exercise which was organized in Abuja by the Saudi Arabian Health Ministry. The exercise, which commenced at about 7 a.m., continued way past afternoon, and some of the medical personnel who spoke to TV360 News on anonymity said the poor remuneration in Nigeria's health sector made them decide to leave the country for a better one.
Nobody is asking for any extra. Just give us the basic. Give us the basics. There are international standards. International labor has rules of engagement. They have standard. That's why I said you can make comparison between Nigeria and the neighboring countries. Go to Ghana, ask us their minimum wage. Go to South Africa, ask us. Botswana now is interviewing. They start calling for interview to take. If you just compare and contrast what they are offering and what you are being offered in Nigeria, Botswana is not up to the quarter size of Nigeria, and they are doing that. So I think the problem is enormous.
Before now, many of us believe that yes, Nigeria things will go for the better, things will improve someday. I know of my colleagues that left the country immediately after school. You know, some people, it took us, for some of us, it took us 6 to 7 years to start, thinking differently. So that means the way things are, even if you are patriotic, it's a challenge to you that you must do something. Otherwise, in the nearest future, you'll just be like, when the chances are golden, I should have done this, I should have made best of my time to just explore.
The peak of the matter is the recent security issues, because me as a person, even if I'm picked and I go for this, it's not because of the money. That's the truth. Yes, I believe even the little money I'm getting as a doctor in Nigeria is enough to manage. If as a doctor, despite earning a bit better than teachers and many other workers, if others are surviving in Nigeria, so that means I should be able to survive as a doctor financially. That's the truth. But I'm concerned about the security issues. You understand? I want to stay in a place where there's going to be rest of mind. So if I have the opportunity of living, I'm going to live with my whole family, at least my children and wife. So once I'm settled there, if I have the opportunity of taking my other siblings there. So because personally to me, Nigeria has failed.
Joining us now on the news is Opeyemi Akinyode, journalist and resident of Plateau. Opeyemi, thank you very much for joining us on News Now. Now, Plateau has for some years now had like relative peace, some level of peace. What do you think could have triggered these recent attacks?
Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. In the last few months on the Plateau, the kind of the relative peace in some form of jeopardy. There's been some form of killings in some communities on the Plateau, specifically Dong in Jos South local government, Jebu Miango in Basa local government, And even in Barikin-Ladi and Riom, those are closed local government. And it got really bad of late. And, there's been some perceived negligence from the part of the state government as regards, the demands of these people for effective security not being met. So 2 Saturdays ago, precisely on the 14th of August, there was some killings along Ukuba Road. Some Muslim faithfuls coming in from Bauchi and heading to Ondo State, as reported, were attacked in the early hours of Saturday morning, and about 22 or 23 of them were killed, and some, were abducted and later released. So, it led to a lot of, reactions, and to the point where curfew was declared in just North local government, and even in just South and Basa local government. But the one of just North was declared 24 hours, and the one of Basa and just South was declared from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So,
but Opeyemi, sorry to cut you here now. With this spate of attacks now, how would you describe the state of things now for just residents now? How are they feeling? What is it like? What's the mood like now, particularly where you are calling us from?
I'm calling from just South, and we're under 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. But event of today, there was an attack yesterday night at Yelowa community, more like a village, very close to the University of Jos, around the Narita village. And it was reported about 35 people were killed. So the youth of the village, took some of the dead bodies, a number about 16, and had a march from the state specialist hospital where the bodies were deposited. They retrieved them, took them to the House of Assembly complex, and from there they had a long walk from the State House of Assembly complex to the government house in Little Rayfield. So they were not received officially. At the point, the police had to use tear gas to dispatch them. So the event led to another curfew. The curfew just not relaxed a little bit, but then they declared it to 24 hours just to keep things under calm. But the pulse of the town is not good. The people are not happy. I mean, you can't losing your loved ones on unprovoked attacks, and you don't expect the people to be happy. So the pulse of the state is this: everybody is concerned, everybody is sad, everybody is angry as well.
Well, Opeyemi, I'm afraid I'll just have to cut you here. I'm afraid for want of time, this is the much we can take. Thank you very much, Opeyemi Akinyode, and please stay safe. That was Opeyemi, a journalist speaking to us from just south in Plateau State. Moving on now, the federal government has again taken a giant stride in its drive to boost the tourism sector of the economy. In collaboration with the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, the government has unveiled the Black and African Hall of Fame in Abuja. Mary Kanu has that story.
Following the success of the Festival of Arts and Culture, Festac 1977, there have been growing concerns about the safety of the materials deposited with the Nigerian government by the participating countries. This necessitated the establishment of the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization in Abuja, the nation's capital. The federal government has chosen this center to unveil Black and African Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame features images of African and global leaders whose names have been etched in history, books and art pieces.
We have Dr. Adamu Dan Maraya and
the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the ministry, said it will help promote the history and ideals of Africans.
What has been done here is going to really help to preserve African arts and culture, that they don't go to extinction, that history will be there for the younger generation who are coming up to come and see how Nigeria evolved, how Africa has evolved, to see the great heroes of Africa, the great heroes of Nigeria, our own dear country.
The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, who was captured in the Hall of Fame, also displayed her excitement and called for encouragement by way of expansion.
This is an amazing experience for me. I'm really surprised at the quality and the number of historical items that are here, from heads of state to famous black leaders, musicians. It depicts the history of Festac 77. We should really encourage this, and I think we should find a place where we can expand this so that we can get our students to come and learn our history.
The Director General of the Center also emphasized her commitment to ensuring that the norms and traditions of Nigerian culture never go into extinction.
We're thinking of doing this, the one I did here in Lagos, a bigger one. We're in Broad Street, so we're going to do a big one for the schools in Southwest, not only Lagos, Southwest. So this will serve for the North, that is Abuja, ZARIA, Nasarawa, and all that, because we have all our outreaches there. So they bring them, and they'll be paying money to enter. So hopefully we'll get a bigger space to be able to put this thing properly.
Nigeria's tourism sector is one with great potential for growth, and the government has said it is focusing on the growth opportunities for the Nigerian economy. Mary Kanu, TV360, Nigeria.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, Niger Army confirms killing of 100 jihadists. Details of that and more after this break. Many thanks for staying with us on News Now. Here's a quick reminder of some of our top stories tonight. In reaction to the attack on the Nigerian Defense Academy NDA by bandits on Tuesday, President Muhammadu Buhari has said the incident, rather than dampen the morale of the armed forces, would hasten the process of ridding the country of all sorts of criminal elements. While commiserating with the families who lost their loved ones, President Buhari vowed that the deceased would not die in vain, adding that the wicked act would have consequences. And we also told you that the federal government has signed a military technical cooperation agreement with the Russian Federation. The Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, who is on official visit to Russia, signed on behalf of the federal government, while the Director of the Federal Service for Military Technical Cooperation in Russia, Dmitry Shugaev, signed for the Russian Federation. The agreement terminates the earlier one between the two countries, signed on the 6th of March 2001. In case you missed any of our news bulletin, or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Nigeria has been witnessing a steady rise in the number of reported COVID-19 infections in recent weeks, a development that has been linked to the deadly Delta variant. While over 2,000 deaths have been recorded, the government is stepping up vaccinations across the country with the Moderna, Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca vaccines. Our correspondent Folashade Ogunrinde tells us more.
Despite earlier doubts, Nigeria's vaccination drive is going better than expected. Since March 2021, when the country received the first batch of 3.92 million AstraZeneca vaccines, more than 1.4 million Nigerians have been fully vaccinated, representing 0.68% of the population. To further boost these numbers, the government has procured more vaccines, including Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. Again, it has now approved the Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine for use in Nigeria.
Yes, NAFDAC has approved the Sinopharm vaccine. I think this was done about 3 days ago, thereabouts. And yes, Sinopharm vaccine has also received a WHO certification. So it is a potential vaccine that we could use. There are so many vaccines that are out there, but one thing that we're very clear about is that we're not going to use all the available vaccines in Nigeria. At some point, we're going to draw a line in terms of the number of vaccines we will use, so that we can keep a close watch on the numbers of vaccines that we're utilizing in Nigeria.
Shedding more light on the vaccination exercise, the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Faisal Shuaib, further explains how the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be deployed.
We have mapped out the hard-to-reach areas across all states, such as security-compromised, riverine, nomadic, and border settlements, where these vaccines will be deployed for targeted vaccination. The reason for targeting these areas with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is because of geographical constraints that make it difficult to reach the dwellers with the second dose after the first contact. Secondly, it removes the additional logistic costs of going to these communities twice.
Shuaib also called for more support at the state level.
We want to ensure that any state we're sending the vaccine to is fully ready to receive them. Readiness here means that the state's ultra-cold chain equipment is fully functional and able to store the vaccines at the required temperatures. Also, the state must have backup storage facilities such as walk-in cold room, walk-in freezers, or chest freezers with reliable 24 hours power supply. Additionally, we require that the states have completed the training of health workers who will monitor the equipment and the vaccines.
No specific time has been given for when the newly approved Sinopharm vaccine will arrive in Nigeria. But for now, the second phase of the vaccination exercise has commenced with the available vaccines in the country. Folashade Ogrindi, TV360 News.
I will take a break here and return with business stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now up next is Business News with Bisola.
Thank you very much, Oyin. Welcome to Business News. As part of efforts to boost Nigeria's non-oil sector, the federal government has inaugurated an ultra-modern industrial shoemaking hub equipped with modern technology in Anambra State. The unveiling ceremony was done by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who was represented by the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment. On his part, Governor Willie Obiano says the complex will provide diverse opportunities for youth in the state and the southeast region.
To minimize the infrastructural challenges that have inhibited MSME growth over time. The federal government is fully committed to empowering Nigerians, as seen during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Specific programs aimed at cushioning the impact of COVID-19 on MSME business have been initiated by the Economic Sustainability Committee, chaired by His Excellency the Vice President. The commissioning of this digital leather industrial hub, therefore, is expected to provide succor and relief for the teeming micro businesses in the value chain, especially those needing space and infrastructural support.
This complex has a factory that is fully equipped with the latest technology for shoemaking. The process of manufacturing shoes here is fully automated from start to finish and compares to the highest shoemaking processes in advanced parts of the world. Exporters can make shoes here and have them certified by Standard Organizations of Nigeria and approved by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council for international markets. And what is more, the Anambra International Cargo and Passenger Airport is less than 3 kilometers away from here. It offers an open window to the export market.
We'll take a break here and return with a review of the stock market. With 20 losers against 17 gainers, the bears reappeared on the local equities market today, which is the midweek trading. The all-share index dipped by 0.03% as the value of listed equities lost about 6 billion naira. The activity levels were also weak compared to the previous trading session. Volume of shares transacted stood at 198 million units, valued at over 1 billion naira, exchanging hands in 3,336 deals. Academy and Farm Deco were the biggest losers today, down by a combined 22 kobo, and that negatively impacted the market. And even though on the gainers list, Capotel and Etana recorded a combined 91 kobo gain, they could not manage to save the market. Moving on now to our global scene today, FTSE is trading higher on Wednesday with little to spark much interest on the economic news front, and as traders await the Jackson Hole event. The Dow Jones also reversed lower on Wednesday as the House cleared the way for a late September vote on a roughly $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Japan stocks Nikkei erased early gains to end lower on Wednesday as investors turned cautious ahead of U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's remarks later this week. That's all on Stock Market Review. Over to Oyin for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Bisola, for that update. And on the foreign scene, Niger's army says it has killed more than 100 Islamist fighters in an operation near the Burkina Faso border. The military said the operation in the Torodi area was in response to an attack that killed 19 security officers on a resupply mission in July, while another team that later came to rescue the slain officers was hit by an explosive device. The Nigerian army said in a statement that its aim was to search for and neutralize those responsible for the ambush and bomb attack. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Months to their wedding, actor ALEXX and fiancée Fancy ACHOLONU have reportedly parted ways. Rumors sparked following reports that Fancy called off the engagement and deleted their joint Instagram page FALEX forever. She has also deleted every photo she has with the movie star on her page. However, ALEXX still has photos and videos from their proposal and engagement ceremony on his Instagram page. The couple got engaged in Los Angeles, USA, and they were billed to walk down the aisle in November 2021. Following reports of alleged disunity among comedians in Nigeria, star comedian Bright Okpocha, better known as BASKETMOUTH, has opened up about his alleged beef with AY MAKUN. There have been long-running speculations about the relationship between the two comedy greats who have actually never worked together. BASKETMOUTH revealed that he fell out with AY because he messed up with loyalty by revealing confidential information to a third party. The comedian also downplayed speculations that he fell out with AY for snatching away his mentee, Bovi. However, BASKETMOUTH revealed that although he and AY are not friends, they remain cordial. A Sharia court has sentenced KANNYWOOD actress SADIYA HARUNA to 6 months in an Islamic school. HARUNA was alleged to have consistently posted indecent videos in which she was dancing seductively and making sexual comments on her social media handles and YouTube channel. The actress pleaded guilty to the one-count charge of obscenity and indecent act, which contradicts Section 355 of Penal Code Law 2000. HARUNA was arrested on Friday, August 20, 2021 by the head of Surveillance Department of Kano State Hisbah Board, Malam Aliyu Usman. And that's all there is on the entertainment segment of News Now.
In sports, Paris Saint-Germain has turned down Real Madrid's €160 million bid for Kylian MBAPPE, despite the player making it clear that he wants to leave. The 22-year-old France World Cup winner joined PSG from fellow Ligue 1 club Monaco for £166 million in 2017 and is out on contract next summer. PSG sporting director describes the Spanish club's approach to the France World Cup winner as disrespectful, incorrect and illegal. The sporting director further revealed that the club will not retain Mbappe if he decides to leave, but he will leave or stay based on their terms. And that's the size of our bulletin this evening. I'm Oyi Adekunle. Thank you for watching.